everyone. Welcome to BuildUp. Our very first guest is Dave Goulden, CEO and co-founder of FundShine. FundShine is a groundbreaking fintech platform with a mission of liberating hardworking individuals from the predatory payday lending cycle. Dave's impressive tech journey includes pivotal roles in product and client development at leading digital marketing and technology companies, including Sojourn, Conversant, and Intuit. Dave, welcome.
Hi, Deepthi. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off with a little bit about FundShine. Can you explain what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So FundShine is a financial wellness platform for folks that are living paycheck to paycheck. And it's really founded on the belief that folks that are vulnerable, right, like those living paycheck to paycheck, don't get the best or access to the best financial services. Matter of fact, they're paying, a lot of times paying more than wealthy people for financial services. And that comes out in the loan interest that people pay, comes out in the fees that banks charge, folks that don't have a lot of money. And so we want to solve for that. We want to really help these folks that are financially vulnerable get into a better spot. And so the way we have conceived the platform, we like to think of it as Weight Watchers for financial wellness, right? So Weight Watchers has been super successful helping people with their health, and they do that through products that they sell, through tools, and maybe most importantly, through support, where Weight Watchers has coaches and peer support involved. And so we want to do the same thing with FundShine. And this is critical because 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a huge group of folks that we're talking about as our broad market.
That is very interesting to know. I did not know that the target market size was that big. So how did you decide on FundShine? What were some other ideas you were exploring, and how did you decide that this was the one?
Yeah, so my entrepreneurial journey started over 30 years ago. This is the eighth, I counted it up recently. This is the eighth startup that I've been a part of. It's my fourth time as a founder. And so I'm always looking for ideas, thinking about ideas. And FundShine was one that came to me through my network. I was helping to advise a guy that I've worked with quite a bit. And his business is he helps entrepreneurs with startup pitches. And he was doing some pro bono work with some nonprofit startup ideas. And that's what, the original idea behind FundShine was as a nonprofit. So my co-founder, one of my co-founders, Samara, has kind of personal lived experience with payday lenders. Some of her family members, they had these payday stores on the corner of her neighborhood. And she really is passionate about like helping people that are living paycheck to paycheck, which end up having to oftentimes take out really expensive payday loans to kind of manage cash flow. And so she conceived of a nonprofit business that was like a credit counseling business. And she was getting help from a guy I know with her pitch. And part of his process is he brings in other people he knows as advisors to kind of help evaluate the pitch that he's working on, provide ideas. And as we all started talking about it, we were super impressed with Samara, our co-founder, super tenacious, really smart, really passionate about solving these problems for folks that are paycheck to paycheck. And we kind of helped her pivot the idea to what has now become FundShine, which is let's turn this into a for-profit so that we can really scale it. There aren't very few nonprofits that can scale to solve problems for 63% of Americans. And so we felt like the for-profit path was the best way to go. And I started off as an advisor, then invested, and then became a co-founder and partner to Samara. And we also brought in another guy I'd been working with in the past as our CTO, who's a really talented engineer. So the three of us are building. For me personally, it represented a change in industry. I've been in ad tech, so I've been involved in technology for a long time, but been in ad tech for almost 25 years. And I like the opportunity to learn more about fintech. It's an interesting space. And it's also kind of a nice kind of new chapter in my career where I can focus what I've been able to do and build large platforms, but focus it on what I believe is a social impact type of a company, right? Where, yes, we're building a big profitable company, but we want that a big part of the outcome we're looking for is that it does change the lives for folks that are financially vulnerable.
I totally resonate with you saying that You want to build a company that has a positive social impact while also making sure that it sustains itself through being profitable. I think that combination is what actually helps a company grow and stay in business for a long time. So I think that's a really smart way of going about it. Can you help us understand how is FundShine solving this problem? How is it different
Absolutely.
from any of the other kind of payday lenders that exist
Yeah,
today?
absolutely. So, I mentioned payday lenders. That actually is the first part of the market we're going after. We really want to burn down that payday industry if we can. So, for folks that are unaware, of the 63% of Americans that are paycheck to paycheck, there are 17 million folks that take out payday loans every year. And that's because a big chunk of the 63% can't handle a $400 unexpected expense, right? So it doesn't take much for a $400 unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill. We had one of our pilot customers had a very high heating bill in the Northeast, the winter that the Ukraine war started and heating oil went up. So like it doesn't take much to kind of throw folks over the edge if you're living paycheck to paycheck. And so that is our first market. It's 17 million people that take out a payday loan every year. They spend $9 billion in interest fees to the payday industry. So it's a $9 billion segment, in the US. And so our solution is going to take this wellness approach and bundle it up with a refinance of the payday loan. So we're going to seek out people who have these payday loans. We're going to say, hey, we will pay that off for you. And as part of that, we're also going to provide a coach and some peer support to help you set financial goals and build a plan and help keep you accountable for that plan, right? With coaching and support. And so I think this combination of, get people out of really bad loans and, these loans are bad. The average interest rate is 400% on a payday loan, right? We're going to dramatically reduce that, by over 90% and then provide the tools and support to help, right, ensure that one, they can pay us back. That's our business model. We got to get paid back for these loans, but two, so that, they can kind of make the plan on what to do next so that they don't kind of get, avoid that situation in the future.
I love the fact that you're looking at it not just from a business profitability perspective of, being able to refinance and get those loans on your books, but also have a sustainable way of educating financially your customers so that they don't have to get into this cycle again. So I think that's where the social impact comes in, and that's probably your key differentiator as well. So
That's
how are
right.
you using technology in this? How is the technology helping you scale your business here?
Yeah, so fintech is one of the reasons it's super interesting to me is it reminds me of the early days of ad tech. When you think about kind of the internet in the early days, the very first ads that got placed were manually put on a page and manually tracked, and it ended up being this very sophisticated, real-time bidded marketplace. So when an ad loads on a page, there's an auction that takes place, and in milliseconds that the auction decides who's going to show that ad. And so all these platforms kind of got built to connect up, the New York Times with people that wanted to place ads. And it was really, right, an interesting time. And we're seeing a lot of the same thing in fintech. You've got kind of very, established, somewhat conservative, big financial institutions. And you've got all these startups that are trying to connect them to, and building platforms that connect to companies like us that are trying to innovate, right? So we want to see a lot of innovation in financial services. And so that's what we're doing. We're using some platforms that help us connect into these big, legacy systems so that we can get the data we need to make good loan decisions. So our process it's going to be handled online. We're starting with a web-based. We'll eventually build a mobile app. But as a customer that's interested in having your payday loan refinance, you can come in literally in minutes. You can enter the information we need. You can connect to your bank, connect to your payroll system through these platforms that we work with, and we get all the information we need. At that point, we can make an instant decision on that loan refinance. So literally in several minutes, you can have a decision. We can then, help you set up an account, and you're off and running. We'll pay off your payday loan. So that kind of automation, wasn't possible even a few years ago.
So are you acquiring customers that are already existing customers of these payday loan companies? How are you acquiring them?
Yeah. So yeah, part of our strategy is, when you're going into the consumer lending business, right? The biggest challenge is in underwriting and deciding who you're going to loan money to. And typically, to make the best decisions, you need a lot of data, right? Data, like you need a history. I've loaned and made 1 million loans. Here's the type of folks that paid me back. Here's the type of folks that didn't. In the absence of that, you can use other data as a proxy. So a lot of companies use credit scores, which by the way, have their own inherent biases in them. And so we're kind of staying away from credit scores to start. We're using what's called cash flow based underwriting. And so the information that we pull in basically tells us our prospects' employment stability. We see how long they've been at their current job. We see their income. And then we're also getting access to 2 years worth of their bank transactions. And so they provide permission for this to do it, but then we can see what their cash flow looks like. So we're trying to make a responsible decision. Can you handle the loan that we're going to give you? And we are 100% focused on people that already have a payday loan. That allows us to, in essence, kind of piggyback on decisions that other companies have already made, right? So, the payday loan business is super profitable. Yes, they charge an incredible amount of interest, but they're also, they've been at it a long time and they're good at figuring out who they want to loan to. And so the fact that someone already got a loan from them, we're now adding our own layer of information on top of it. And then we're also checking for, do these folks have a credit card? Because banks are really good at underwriting as well. And we know that a big chunk of the people who take out payday loans, close to 80% also have a credit card. So we're going to say, all right, you've got a credit card, you've gotten a payday loan. That's a great filter for us. And then next, we're going to layer in all this employment and bank data to help us make good decisions.
That makes sense. So what are some key metrics that you're tracking?
Yeah, so like many platform style businesses, it's our cost of acquisition. And I think one of the things you asked I didn't answer great was we are going to be doing digital marketing. We'll be using online advertising to drive some of our acquisition. This is my 25 years of experience will help us do that. But we're also going to use PR, right? We know this is a good story. We are doing good here, and we want people to hear about it that way. And then lastly, we are going to look for some partnerships. So we think that this kind of financial wellness approach works well. Employers would be interested in it through their payroll systems. We're starting to have some of those conversations, as well as even banks themselves. So cost of acquisition, and then the other one obviously is retention, retention. And then for the repayment, the refinance product, it's the loan loss, like what percentage of losses are we seeing?
Are you worried that if your coaching program is too successful, you might actually not retain customers? Your end goal is to help customers get free of payday loans. Do you see that conflicting with your business model at all?
No, it won't. And that's because we're going to charge a subscription fee for the wellness platform. So kind of back to this Weight Watchers analogy, right? So when you sign up for Weight Watchers, you're paying a monthly fee. And you get an app that has tools in it, that helps things. You have meetings you can go to where you can sit with a coach and have peer support. And we're going to do something very similar, where as soon as a customer comes on, we're gonna assign them a coach. They're gonna have a one-on-one with that coach. We will sit down with them when we have tools for helping them set goals. We have tools for their budgeting. We have tools to track action plan, and that'll go along with the coaching and support. So really our first go-to-market is this bundling of the subscription service that is the wellness program with the payday refinance.
That sounds awesome. What's your vision for FundShine?
Yeah, we see this as if we achieve our vision and can really start to help a big chunk of these folks that are living paycheck to paycheck, what we see is people not having to take out payday loans nearly as often. We see people being able to budget and save for a rainy day. We see people being able to even focus on increasing their income. How do you get yourself out of being paycheck to paycheck? Really, there's 3 things you can do. You can increase your income, you can reduce your expenses, or you can start to save and invest. And we want to be able to have solutions in all 3 of those. Probably the furthest out would be the improve your income. But if we're working with people, and these are people that are motivated and they're making improvements in their financial lives, they can be very attractive to employers as well. So it could help create a pipeline for employers that want to hire folks down the road. In the saving or reducing expenses, the payday loan refinance is one product that we can offer for that. but there's many more, right? We can offer better bank accounts, better credit cards. We can partner with other companies that have services as well. It doesn't have to be everything we build. We can kind of become a marketplace for different services that help achieve those particular goals. Same thing with saving and investing, right? We can offer savings products. We could partner with people that have investment products, all hyper-focused on this particular segment of folks that, again, typically gets underserved by our financial institutions.
I'm super excited for FundShine to launch. When are you planning to launch this?
Yes, yeah. So we are launching right after the new year. We're just doing all of our final testing, and we don't want to launch during the holidays, so we're going to wait till after the new year and get live.
Sounds exciting. I wish you all the very best. So any closing thoughts, Dave, for say entrepreneurs that are looking to take the leap? Any advice, words of wisdom?
Yeah. One thing about entrepreneurship is it's driven by curiosity, and it's driven by passion, and curiosity is, I think everyone understands what that is. Like, how do things work? What can we do differently? How does this business work? How does this industry work? Why are 17 million people taking payday loans out every year? That seems crazy. Why is that? So it's that curiosity is the first step. And then the next is passion, which is find a problem that you really, really want to solve, right? And for us, it is all about that problem. Like, our solution is going to change over time. Absolutely. But if we're really passionate about continuing to chip away at that problem, then that will keep us going. And I think that's true of any entrepreneur. It's this desire to solve that customer problem.
Thank you so much, Dave. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed our chat and wish you all the very best with FundShine. We look forward to hearing about your launch as well.
Thank you, DT. Appreciate the time. Thank you.